why, I don't know if you're like me, but I've come before God before in a spiritual moment. I'm like, God, I'm never going to do this one thing again. Maybe it's smoking. Maybe it's watching something you shouldn't. Maybe it's being in a relationship you shouldn't be. You're like, God, I'm never going to do this. Maybe you're at a conference or you're in a church service or you're worshiping really hard, and then 2 days later you're good. 7 days later you're still good. 2 weeks later you give back into it. Or 2 months or 2 years later you give back into that. I don't know if that's just me, but I'm sure that's some of you out there as well, where you've made a commitment, God, I'm never going to do this again, and then you end up doing it. Most recent in my life, I'd have to say this is with gluttony. Now, gluttony is the idea of, in the Bible, it talks about living in excess all the time, specifically when it comes to food. And so every Monday I wake up, I'm like, God, I'm not going to gluttonize this week, and I'll make it through Monday, and I'll make it through Tuesday, and then Wednesday night I'll eat a whole pizza, right? And so a lot of people joke about that, but that's what I go before God. I'm like, I'm never going to do that, but that hasn't changed in my heart yet. This even happened this week. On Monday, I woke up, I had a banana for breakfast, which I always have, and then for lunch I had some sort of leftover. I think it was a sandwich. For supper, I had a bowl and a half of chicken noodle soup and a piece of garlic bread, and then about 7 o'clock, my mom stopped by with a whole Casey's pizza, and then I ate a whole Casey's pizza, and it was delicious. I didn't eat a whole pizza. I shared it with my wife, so I had 7/8 of it, and it was very, very good, right? And so I can make changes to my diet, right? And I may be able to make changes to the point where I can start to lose a bunch of more weight, and I can do that. But the problem is that doesn't change my heart. I still have a desire to want to live in excess. And while I may not be living in excess in food at the time, maybe I'm living in excess by gluttonizing over television or something else. I just bounce from one thing to another. The gospel is the only thing that can change your heart. It's the only thing that can change you. It is the power of God. The truth is that none of us are born a Christian. I don't care if your mama spit you out on the altar and you came out singing Jesus Loves Me. You were not born a Christian. While we can put our kids in a position to meet Jesus, we cannot make them follow Jesus. We can lay down the kindling for the Holy Spirit to spark, but we cannot make someone follow Jesus. We cannot change their heart. Only Jesus can do that. And so, the first reason on why the gospel is the thing that defines the church is because it is the power of God. Not your good works, not the kingdom, not the church. The gospel is the thing that saves, and the gospel is the thing that changes. All right?